Chamisa chapina makatemba masana. Chamisa chapina makatemba masana. Zatizva makachera zvicharamba zvichiti. Zatizve kupirira sarudzo zvicharamba zvakadaro. Dzunguretseirira munoita imi mucharirika. Dzunguretseirira munoita imi mucharirika. Nero achapinda makatemba masana. Nero achapinda makatemba masana. Sati zvamakajaira zvicharamba zvichiitika. Sati zvekubira sarudzo zvicharamba zvakadaro. Dzunguretseirira munoita imi mucharirika. Dzunguretseirira munoita imi mucharirika. Makajaira kushandisa mapurisa nemasoja. Kisidzira vana veZimbabwe kuti akuvhotere. Makajaira kushandisa zeki kubirira saru. Manje this time tichazvivharisa. Musanyepere vanimi hapana chada nezvezani. Musanyepere vanimi hapana chada nezvenyu. 41 years muchitonga makaitei mazanu. 41 years muchitonga makaitei mazanu. Saka chapinda makatemba shua makatero achapinda makatemba achapinda makatemba chapinda makatemba shua makatemba makatemba achapinda makatemba.
Yes, absolutely. Chamisa chapinda, mukomana chapinda, zanu yakatemba, and hapana kudzokera shure. It's happening, vachida vasingadi. Tinokuchingamidzai, tinokugamuchirai. We welcome you, all our listeners from all over the world, whether it's in the morning, it's in the afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to our weekly news review, where we take a look at the topics that made the headlines on Change Radio News over the past week. Welcome to all our listeners from all over the world. Today we have a wide selection, a wide array of topics that we'll be talking about. And we've got an interesting panel today. So stay tuned on ZimI and Change Radio. We'll be here to inform you, keep you entertained, and keep you on track on what's happening in Zimbabwe. To all our listeners, please subscribe and share with everyone. Share on Facebook. And come and listen and hear what we have for you today. Today we have Leader Shiko, we've got Barbara, we've got Chief, we have Tarisai, we have Dr. Ranga all the way from the States. Welcome, please welcome the guests.
Thank you.
Oh. Thank you, Dr. Ranga. Everyone else, I think you can just say hello to the guests and the viewers and listeners.
Hello,
Tarisai,
everybody. Hello, viewers and the panelists, and hello, Sophie.
Hello, welcome, Chief Shiko, Barbara.
Linjani mthwakazi omuhle linjani emagumbini amane wonke omhlaba linjani mthwakazi omuhle livukile latshona. I hope li right.
Yeah. Abaya right, I'm sure they're all right.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. And I'm also looking forward to interacting with you. So you can invite others and just join us in the discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Chief?
Yes, Mahadi Murias Zimbabwe. And let me put a disclaimer. I might have some background noise because I'm at the airport. But you know, when you're called to duty, you just jump on. So, Sophie, thank you so much for this program.
Thank you so much. And of course, we've got our admin behind the scenes. Thank you so much for the wonderful work you're doing and for being with us. Right, we're just going to jump straight into it without wasting much of your time. Dr. Ranga, I'll start with you. The hot topic that has been going on this past week, the e-passports and the CBZ $20 that applicants are just expected to donate to Kudakwashita Gray and his cronies. Can you take us through that?
Hello, Sophie. The passport issue is very close to my heart. I'm sure people have heard me make quite a bit of noise on Twitter. The reason for that is passports are very personal to everyone. I'm sure if we did a sample, almost all of us on this panel have passports. And we call ourselves Zimbabweans. And for you to be a Zimbabwean outside Zimbabwe, you need a passport. So when we get announcements like what was announced in the last week, we pay attention. And what I've heard so far is disconcerting. It's not encouraging. As a citizen, you know, I want to be able to have a passport like I have my birth certificate. You know, that's what identifies me. Identifies me as a Ranga before I'm a doctor. Identifies me as a Zimbabwean before I'm anything else. So whenever you hear these announcements, which seem to be very random, at the same time seeming to be benefiting certain sectors of our country, the same people who have been pillaging our country, it's very worrisome. And for every citizen, you should pay attention. Look, it's like your birth certificate. You know, you need a birth certificate to be identified anywhere within Zimbabwe. When you leave the country now, you need more than a birth certificate. You need a passport. And as we know, a lot of young people, professionals in Zimbabwe, they want to have a passport. They want to have a chance to move away from the mess that has been created by the current government. However, what we are seeing is they don't care. They seem to think it's okay to just award these contracts to their cronies, the same names. You know, we're tired of mentioning the names anyway. I think what's important is this affects us as Zimbabwean citizens directly. And there is no reason why we should be paying an arm and a leg for a basic passport. A passport is a basic identity document. Imagine as a child, if you had to pay $200 for your birth certificate, that's ridiculous. We're not saying that we shouldn't get smarter in our documentation, smart documents. That's what we preach as the MDCA or the government in waiting. We want that. But let it be done properly, systematically. Let it be done in a way where an ordinary person can say, this makes sense. It doesn't make sense to me to say, well, by 2023, you have to get rid of your passport. Some of those passports are 1 year old. So it seems that somebody, besides the fees being way out there for the ordinary Zimbabwean, how much do we pay a school teacher in Zimbabwe? Can they afford a passport? You know, besides that, just the arbitrary nature in which these decisions are being made is just, nobody is paying attention to the citizens, the same people, citizens they lead. So that is why some of us are making a lot of noise on Twitter, and we'll keep making noise until a common sense solution is found. Thank you, Sophia. I know that's a long, I'm starting the rant right here on the news review.
But a necessary rant. A very
Absolutely.
necessary
I think we need to pay attention. I know for a lot of us, there are so many things that are being done in the country that are just beyond pale. But we need to say to them, listen, when it comes to our identity documents, like our passports, you can't just wake up one morning and say, you're going to charge an extra $20 and whatever you had, the document you had is going to be irrelevant in 2023. That's not how we do it. There's an administrative process that everybody should say, this makes sense. Thank you very much, Sophia. I'm going to shut my mouth for now.
No, thank you so much, Dr. Ranga. Thank you really for that. Barbara, do you have anything you want to add on to what the learned doctor has given us?
Of
To
course,
learn it
of
in
course,
medicine, nothing else.
of course, Sophie. I think Doc has summed it all, but I want to come in the human rights perspective. Kuti passport is a right. We all have, everyone has got a right to stay or to live wherever he or she wants. If I decide I want to go and stay in America, no one should bar me from going there. So if anyone in Zim decides I want to go and stay in Botswana, how do you go there without a passport? And something, a basic human right, like Doc has said, a birth certificate, a passport, an ID. They are basic human rights documents that anyone or each and everyone has got to get without any hassles. Something that is a basic human right. If it's something that is being sold, it has to be accessible. It has. We talk of accessibility, affordability, and reliability. There are sort of things that you look at when these documents, the fees are being paid. So once a something that is a right, it's not accessible or affordable, it then ceases to be a right. It's now something that can be obtained by people, high class people with money. So Murombo haachaiti here passport, umuyanga kasavile passport. Sikhuluma ngendaba ebuhlungu lapha ukuthi umuntu lo muntu kumele ayenelise ukuba le passport. I-passport kumele iphekwe ngentengo ephansi, intengo eneliswa ngumuntu wonke laloba ngubani, even umuntu ongasebenziyo kumele ayenelise ukuba le passport. Singakhangela amanye amazwe aseduze leZimbabwe, iBotswana, iZambia, iSouth Africa, ungakhangela ama-figures ama-passports awo akula ababhadalisa imali edlula i-20 US dollar, edlula i-30 US dollars to be precise. And then what's so special about this e-passport, even here in the UK, I don't think people, in as much as people have got money, but the passport is affordable, it's accessible. You can even do it online, yes, but we are saying the e-passport in Zimbabwe, are the people going to be able to obtain it? Like now I'm sitting on my desk, I should be able to order that passport and pay everything and get it. So is this what is going to happen, or is just the name e-passport, and then you are going to have hassles in getting that e-passport, and the corruption of, to say the bank CBZ is going to collect the $20? Why CBZ? And was it not supposed to be maybe the tenders published and everyone applying if it's an issue of tenders? Why CBZ? And why not this NASA bank that is going to boost the pensioners' coffers? Why CBZ? So you see, you think ZANU-PF will bring something that people will think is good, but at the same time, ZANU-PF the sinister motives behind everything that you think that you might think is good. It's good for them, but it's very bad. This is a very bad policy for the people.
A policy that is taking advantage of the citizens of the country, and it doesn't matter to the ZANU-PF leadership as long as they line their pockets. Okay, we have a few comments there. Maxwell Zimunya says, Dzungu ndo rinoita kuti murambe muri kutongwa muchiwandira ku social media. Maxwell,
social media.
Yeah, social media, but at the end of the day, you know, we are moving on. It's globally. Through advanced technologically, everyone is a social media. So apana kuwanda pa social media. The social media is the place to be. So, you know, it's unfortunate, but I want to go on social media. Social media.
Yeah, so let me just say something about Maxwell. Mfanya kuchika zvoina za Maxwell murakasi mkuru, tinomuziva, saka ari pabasa. He's doing his work right now. So no, let's not be perturbed by what he's trying to do. Those are to badarwa marizo. Social media inorwadza ZANU-PF. Ukaona chinhu chinenge chirwadza ZANU-PF, ziya kuti muri kugona. Saka ibva matonyanya kudzikisa geji. Social media is crucial. They know it. That's why Emerson Mnangagwa gave my smartphones to, a number of people, hundreds of people. That was like 2-3 years ago. Pakabuda paya paitaura statement chake chekuti varakashei pa social media ipapo varakashei. They failed. We are still in control. It's our zone of autonomy, and we will continue to do what we are doing, without fear or favor and perturbed of what ZANU-PF is doing. So, this is it. It's a zone of autonomy. It can win elections. Social media will win elections. It was used in Zambia successfully. It caused uprisings in Egypt, in Algeria, and other countries. So we cannot ignore social media, and no one is going to, talk us out of or scare us out of using social media. We will continue to be here. Kusvika Zimbabwe yasununguka. Saka vauya vachitaura zvavarikutaura manaysayers, let's leave them like that. Vari kurwadziwa nezvatiri kuita. Continue to be on social media, continue to be on Twitter, continue to be on Instagram. Let's even increase what we are doing, because this is crucial. For social media, voters. We have over 6 million people on Zimbabwe are on social media. So why should we not take advantage of that? Anyway, let's not waste time. I just wanted to clarify it to people and make sure that everyone who is on social media stays there.
And they continue. Boramberi. But anyway, like you say, Idi Mnangagwa akapa ma smartphones kuti varakashe. But it looks like within themselves, within ZANU-PF, vakurakashana pachawo. I don't know. Tarisa, do you want to take us through what happened this week with Chiwenga and the Chiefs?
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yeah, there we go.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I think the chief is just in his lane, and we must always not be deceived to support the chief, deceived to support people who are openly coming out and saying it loud out that I am the one who supported ZANU-PF from the start. By the way, I'm introducing the issue of Chief Morinye in Masvingo. It's somewhere around Masvingo South, near the Great Zimbabwe Monument. So the chief addressing a funeral of one of the military guys who had died in this area. He went on to say that he is the one, when he got to Masvingo, he found out that there was MDC everywhere in Masvingo. So he had to do everything he could to crush MDC in Masvingo, to crush members of MDC in Masvingo. This narrative brings up, shows us how dangerous the guy is, and we should not, using his facts, we should not be deceived to follow his ways of doing things. As he is saying now, he is saying Iji muzukuru wangu. What it means, Jesekuti is trying by all means to campaign for him, trying to show people that Mzukuru wake is a good person, but there are people around him who are bad, of which who is he telling that? It looks like he is a good person, EG is a good person, yet we all know the person is trying to clean, the person is trying to justify here. So he also said on corruption. He talked about gold. He talked about what. Then people are now asking, why didn't he go to report that corruption to police? But he has a case where he said, I passed through a service station, and one of my friends there tipped me kuti pane truck rine fertilizer yanga yabva kuHarare ichinzi is for Masvingo people, and it's now going back to be sold on black market in Harare. Then he then claimed that he tipped the police on that. But as a chief, what did you do? This was for your people. This was for your Masvingo people. Isn't it that he is just trying to deceive us? He is just trying to deceive the people of Zimbabwe to think that he is a good person. EG is a good person. To make matters worse, he did not mention any of the names. He's just running around the bush, trying to blame unknown people around EG. But EG is the one who set up those panelists. And finally, maybe I want to go back to the issue he said, EG Muzukuru wangu. And this is a family matter. We cannot take a family matter to the nation and hold the whole nation on ransom, saying that these people, they are just playing Tom and Jerry games with us. Then they try to bring us to their narratives. He said he communicates with EG on daily basis. Why didn't he give a call? EG, you have problems with the hypocrites in Masvingo here. What are you doing? There are people who are bringing you down instead of bringing their family issues to the public. So I think that's my submission. Zimbabwe, people of Zimbabwe must not be deceived to think that this chief is trying to fight on our side. He even claimed that about that councillor, there is one councillor there in around his place, his chieftainship. So he said that they havana kumupa control over my inputs anga auya vakati vari kupa shadow councillor wavo. That shows that he has no any mess on us as Zimbabweans, on us as people of Masvingo, or on the people around his own environment. So people should not be deceived to follow him or to think that he's independent. I think that's my submission on that.
And this is a chief who has a track record of abusing his people. Look, in 2012, where he actually ordered ZANU-PF people to attack the people in his area in Masvingo. I mean, Dr. Ranga, I mean, just from what you've heard and what this chief has done in the past, we mustn't lose focus. I just want you to give a few words of encouragement to the Zimbabweans that we must not lose focus. And but isusu, we know where our fight is and where we must continue.
Sure, Sophie, and thank you, my brother Tarsai. What I want to say on that issue is that it brings to fore a number of issues. So there's freedom of speech. We want Chief Murinya to keep talking so that we can know what these guys in ZANU-PF are doing. They're busy pillaging the country. And, it's a complex, right? So it involves the presidency, it involves people in the military, it involves the chiefs. Where are the ordinary Zimbabweans in all that discussion? So they would tell us, these people around you, ED, they are doing this, they are doing that, they're doing that. Who is saying, how about the people? How does this affect ordinary Zimbabwean citizens? So people have a right to speak. Chiefs, ordinary citizens like you and me here, we should be free to say whatever we think. It's okay for us to vote for whichever political party that we think, is good to us. So if Chief Murinya supports ZANU-PF, that's his choice. Of course, he's a community leader who is supposed to be non-partisan. But as a Zimbabwean, it's his right to vote. That's not the problem. The problem comes in the fact that everyone is saying, listen, just shut up. Let us keep looting the country. Let's keep stripping the country naked. You know, let's keep going to those mines, taking over whatever mines, gold mines, diamond claims, you name it. When people are supposed to get fertilizer, because this is the rainy season, well, the fertilizer will not end up with the people. The fertilizer is going to end up back in Harare, where they are selling it for a song and pocketing the money, while the people continue in abject poverty. So my 2 cents is that General Chiwenga, who is our vice president, he doesn't have a right to be telling chiefs you can't
Illegitimate
speak.
vice president.
Yeah,
Sorry,
an illegitimate one. An illegitimate one. He has no right to be threatening our chiefs and any ordinary Zimbabwean. I know that they believe the gun is the ultimate arbiter in Zimbabwe. That's one thing we need to work on as Zimbabweans, so that all of us feel free as Zimbabweans, wherever we are, whether it's here in America, whether it's in Zimbabwe, somewhere in the village, whether you're a chief, whether you're a nobody like me, you know, you are still a Zimbabwean, and you deserve to be protected by the state, not to be where you live in constant fear of your own government. The reason why they continue to make arbitrary decisions like the passport issue is because they just do whatever they want. It doesn't matter what it means to the ordinary Zimbabwean citizen. So that's what we need to change. And that's why people keep talking about citizens converging for change. Change is good for people in ZANU-PF. Change is good for people in the MDC. Change is good for independence. Anybody who is Zimbabwean, when the country is working right, you won't just wake up one morning and people are telling you your passport is no longer valid. No, that shouldn't happen. Thank you. You know, see, I'm talking about the passports again. Thank you, Sophie.
Yeah,
No, thanks so much, Dr. Ranga.
To what
only have
Doctor just said. To just
Sure.
add to what Doctor just said is that as we see the general trying to threaten the chiefs, according to the constitution, they should be independent. They should be apolitical, right? But they forced them kuti vange vari under ZANU-PF. Then now they're under ZANU-PF. They are saying Murimba vai mimi. Now they are angry at them again. So it's even ridiculous.
It is. So the only true chiefs we have are Chief Ndiweni and Chief Shoshe.
Exactly. That's what I was
Those
about
are
to
the
say.
true chiefs.
That's what I was about to say. But anyway, let me just comment on Ndara Wenga. Inina ansana mbona mkanya tununu sa General Wenga. And I've always said I doubt kuti ndimukanya chaiwo here kana kuti mubhandiripo ndofunga kauya ari kumusana, because hakuna ana mukanya vakadaro kuti you keep propping up Emerson Mnangagwa, who is coming after you, and day in, day out, you are seen trying to protect him, you know, and you go out of your way and threaten a chief the way you threaten. It just shows that whatever ZANU-PF is saying about the people, it's non-existent. It's neither here nor there. ZANU-PF doesn't care about the people. Because if you insult a chief, if you insult Chief Shoshe, you are insulting Weather Yes. You are insulting everyone who falls under Weather. You are insulting everyone, Masabuku, Nana Sadunu, Vese Varumu Dunu, Chief Murinye. That's exactly what Chiwenga did. And I just don't understand. And this is the reason why I'm always telling people that let's not be carried away with ZANU-PF shenanigans with what they do, because these people, they choreograph things. You know, you see what Tarisa is saying. I try, you know, a lot of people are buying that this might be a dummy that the people of Zimbabwe are being sold. That's what ZANU-PF does. They give you something to talk about. They give you something to discuss. They give you something to distract you so that you're not talking about the important issues that matter. You are now distracted. You are now talking about you know, what is going on with Chief Murinye. and then you forget about the hunger that is, that is besieging Zimbabwean people, the poverty, and all the corruption deals that we are seeing, that we know about. We start talking about Chief Mourinho. ZANU-PF, when it matters most, they regroup, they fight for each other. They are always there. Their agenda is to retain power, to make sure that they remain in power. They might have their differences, Emerson Mnangagwa and General Chiwenga and many others, ZANU-PF people. But when it matters, they never, go against each other. When it matters, they come together and fight for each other. And that's what we are seeing. And personally, I just say, let's not be defocused, as Malema wants to say. No, let's not be defocused. Let's keep focusing on what we are doing. Let's not focus on what ZANU-PF is doing or not doing. Let's do what we have to do as the Zimbabwean people and make sure that we do what we need to do, as we approach 2023. Ngatiregedze kukanganisana na General Chiwenga. Vari kutoziva tsoro yavo yavari kutamba, and let's not swallow that hook, line, and sinker. Thank you.
Can I throw a question in there, Leader Sophia?
Sure, Edmund.
ZANU-PF is known by every Zimbabwean to be a terrorist, murderous, rapist party. Everyone is aware of all these violations, human rights violations, all the constitution violations that they have committed. I'd just like to hear from fellow panelists what they think. Should it be a right to support ZANU-PF if someone chooses to, when we all know that they are criminals? Should it be a right that if I would like to support criminals, it's my right? Or should we as the Zimbabwean people just lay it out, Kuti, yes, you have a right to choose the party you want to support, but, when you support criminals, you are implicated in their crime, just as it is in law that ukaviga mbava, you can also be tried for that.
You're an accomplice.
An accomplice.
Can I give it a try, Sophie?
Okay. Okay, can I have Barbara and then Dr. Ranga? Very quickly, I think we're running out of time, so we'll just do 30 seconds.
Yes, I was saying the freedom of association, freedom of assembly, freedom of choice, they're all enshrined in the Constitution. So it's you who is saying ZANU-PF is a terrorist government. The ZANU-PF supporters, they were made to believe kuti they are not terrorists. It's just like you, Sophie. Mai wako kana vachiroya. Unobvuma ere iwe kuti mai wako vanoroya?
Never.
So because of the war, is ZANU-PF being a revolutionary party, but they hide behind the war kuti takaenda kuhondo. So everyone believes kuti party yakaenda kuhondo yakasunungura nyika, they cannot do all those evil things. But we know most people that were in ZANU wakatobuda nenyaya izvozvo. It's only those that are blinkered, those that are gullible. You will never convince. Even this one that came here angachitukwa na chifu. Unofunga kuti munhu akadaro anoziva kuti ZANU inoroya. Achiuya pasocial media achiti shaudha isusu achiyasoziva kuti ZANU yake inoroya. So it's their choice. They've chosen to eat with the killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sophie, I couldn't say better what leader Barbara said. What I wanted to say is we won't hold it against ZANU-PF people. It's their choice. Can I use that? You have to stick with your mom. What I think is that most progressive Zimbabweans, they are converging around the People's Hope. And the People's Hope is the MDCA, the MDC Alliance, led by our own advocate, Nelson Chamisa. So all these others are side shows. Even ZANU-PF is a side show because they are gone past their sell date. They have nothing new to offer the country. They keep talking about Munumutapa, Mbuyane Handa. We respect those people. That's where we came from, but we can't keep going back there. The whole world is moving forward. So what I would encourage every Zimbabwean who wants a better country is to say, listen, there's only hope in the MDCA led by Advocate Nelson Chamisa. It's free. It's okay for you to support ZANU-PF if you think they will do a better job. But I think we have a better plan. Thank you.
Yes.
Mm.
Some
Absolutely.
youth said, Sophie, some youth said, Hanzi, taneta nokungoudzwa kuti tisi takasunungura nyika, tisi takasunungura. Hanzi, endai munoisungirira, muone kana tikatadza kuisunungura.
Can I just
Exactly.
can I throw in another one in the mix? What do you think is the role? What do you think is the role?
Can I just
What do you think is the role of truth in the in our laws, in our in our approach to the freeing of our nation? What is the role of truth? Can we sideline truth and still develop and free our nation? Like, for example, we all know ZANU-PF has committed these crimes. And can we just say those who support ZANU-PF is their choice when we know the truth that, they have committed these crimes? They deserve to be in prison right now. Can we free our country whilst we are allowing other people to, to live a lie at the expense of the rest of the nation? Those who support ZANU-PF do so because they have something they stand to benefit from it. They benefit from the looting. Can we really afford to allow them, to keep, strengthening the cancer that is killing our nation?
And it is a cancer that is killing our nation. But I think like what Dr. Ranga and Barbara said, what we advocate for as the Movement for Democratic Alliance led by Advocate Nelson Chamisa is freedom of association. And the best thing we can do is to keep on educating these guys that, look, you know what, there is this way, there's the alternative, which is the truth, which is open and is transparent. And what we can do best is to convince them so that they see that where they are currently is not the best and it will not move the country forward. So I think, you know what, the truth is very important, but we need to educate and we need to open our fellow citizens' eyes to that truth. And we can have a better Zimbabwe which has dignity for all Zimbabweans, And I think focusing on the future, like what the previous speakers have spoken, we had the Diaspora, just moving on, the Diaspora Network for Change, which is a portfolio that is headed by Minister Clifford Tlachwayo and Leader Chikomborero Manjengwa here. They launched a fundraiser last week, and this weekend there was another fundraiser, a successful fundraiser. If you can just take us through that fundraiser, what happened and what the mission was and what it accomplished and what you hope to accomplish in the future.
Okay, thank you so much, Leader Sophia. So I will make some of your details, or in fact, I'll correct some of your details because it didn't begin as a fundraiser, but the Diaspora Affairs Department in the President's office, by President I mean Advocate Nelson Chamisa, started developing a diaspora policy. So the first meeting that was held last weekend on a Sunday was about the diaspora policy and engaging the people in the diaspora so that they contribute to a policy that is going to affect them if they remain in the diaspora in the future when the alternative government comes into place. That's the first thing. Then what happened yesterday on Saturday, the 18th, was something that organically came from the floor, from the audience. That's how it happened. So initially there was an update or a feedback on the questionnaire. Some statistics were shown. Then afterwards, we had a talk from the head or the secretary for policy in the president's office, Comrade last Mayenga Hama.
Hama.
Yes. Then after Comrade Mayenga Hama finished his talk, there was a bit of engagement, and afterwards the elections department came in to take us through on what is required for elections to be successful, or for the MDSC alliance to be successful in the 2023 elections. So they had a talk with both the Councillor Makone and the Honorable Ellen Shiriedenga, the heads of elections. And because of their election drive, and because of the need that they showed during their speech, the floor or the audience decided that they needed to fundraise through the Diaspora Affairs Department, since we had brought the elections team to come there. So some of the things that the people in the floor suggested were like PA systems. They were saying that, like, in order for voter mobilization, or this voter registration blitz that we all awaited and was cancelled, to spread, or for people to be told about it, we need PA systems so that people can hear. You know, in some regions like rural areas, there are places where people, if they want to go to a meeting, if we go, let's say as MDC Alliance, to say come to a meeting and we want you to register to vote, some people might not come. They are prevented to go to such places by people like Chief Mourinho, who go and then say you can't go there, right? So because of that, if we have a PA system, we can move around mobilizing people so that people can hear about the need to register to vote from their homes. They don't need to leave their homes sometimes if it's an area that is really tight in terms of these security challenges. Right, that's the first one. The second item that people suggested was a printer. If we want people to register to vote, sometimes even the cadres cannot go there during the day. It will be very hard for them to go and say, let's go and register to vote. You saw that even our very own president's car had to be destroyed. He was missed by a bullet. Now imagine an ordinary citizen who doesn't even have layers of protection like our president. They will be in serious danger, right? But if there is a printer and something printed is left, someone can just pick it, put it in their pocket, and go and read in their spare time. Or whilst in hiding, they can read and still get the message about the need to register to vote and the need to vote in 2023. So that's the other thing. And there are a lot of other items that are there. For instance, you see that there are challenges like people saying that the polling agents can be bought by ZANU-PF because ZANU-PF has got money. All those things need to be prevented, right? As you understand that, we are really glad that there are citizens who went about to say they want to go and defend the vote, and they started a fundraiser so that they can fundraise money to defend the vote. But in order for us to be able to defend the vote, we need to have the vote first. So it means whilst the citizens are doing their part, the Diaspora Affairs Department is not going to stop. It is also going to do its own part and fundraise in order that we have the vote. We fundraise to support our candidates, let's say in the provinces. We fundraise to support the people in the constituencies. If you know that the diaspora has got many programs that are going on, twinning and all those things, and they are being streamlined under the Diaspora Affairs Department, right? So the fundraiser started organically from the audience, and I can say from the message that was posted by the technical team on the new Diaspora Affairs, MDC Alliance Diaspora Affairs Twitter account, yesterday we managed to raise something like $2,000 that came in a matter of less than 1 hour, as the people felt from the speeches by the elections department, then the people were then heartily thanked by the vice president of the country, my Kore. She had to thank the people and said that God should bless everyone who has put their hands in the pocket and sacrificed, because even a single dollar is very hard for you to take out of your pocket to support someone. Because remember, the people in the diaspora are not only supporting the struggle, they are also supporting their families back home. They are also the philanthropists. They also need to support themselves. Some of them are taking their relatives from home, bringing them here, supporting them before they get on their feet. So these are people who are doing a lot for the country, and for their family, and for their community, and eventually the world. So that's what I can say. And I can say the Diaspora Affairs Department will definitely continue with its effort to ensure that all the provinces are supported, all the candidates are supported. And that's the trust of the department. And that's what I can say for now.
Well, thank you so much, Rico. So this really just happened impromptu, and in less than an hour, there was over $2,000 raised. Kudos, well done for that. And we can only just say, stay focused. Thank you so much for that. Keep on doing that, because you're doing a good job. And let's hope next week something even bigger happens as well, or the next time this meeting happens. There is
Yes.
the donation link in the banner there at the bottom. I saw Simbaba Sekuru Wangu, who put in the comment with the payment link for that exercise that the Diaspora office is taking. And it's a noble idea. Citizens, I urge you all, even $1 would go a long way. I urge you to donate whatever you can, as much as you can, to that purpose for the elections. We have a lot of work to do, and every dollar will count. So please take that link down and donate whatever you can. Let's do this together. Together, you can do it. Together with me, with you, everyone. If we come together, we will reach our targets, and we will have a new Zimbabwe come 2023. Thank you so much, Rico, for that.
Yes.
Moving forward.
I just wanted to add one thing, that because of the engagement, yesterday there were a lot of people in the spaces they needed, like in the Zoom space that we had, or the Zoom meeting. They wanted to talk. They wanted to still engage with the Diaspora Affairs Department, and the resolution was made afterwards that we will be making the Twitter spaces available to people, so that they can come and air their views. If they want to keep supporting and keep fundraising, they can come. We'll provide an official platform where they can come and keep donating, keep fundraising, interact with the leadership, interact with the department, so that we will all be knowing the direction we'll be taking. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to review the program that we have.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Rambaye mwini pa program, and let's hope for bigger things to come. Right. So the CICZ leader, Barbara. Well, if you can take us through that, Barbara, on what happened with the elections fiasco in Bulawayo.
I think
can I
Chief
say
has got
something about the
something to
fund
say.
before we go on?
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate what
thank you.
leaders Rico was talking about. Yes, I just wanted to just reiterate what leaders Rico was talking about, and also take time to thank the Diaspora Initiative through the Diaspora Secretary, Honorable Clifford Shatwayo. He is now in charge of our diaspora activities, which means everything that happens in the diaspora, you know, he is part of it. And we want to thank him so much, and even thank the president President Nelson Chamisa, because it is us, the people in the diaspora, and in particular external assemblies, that advocated for that role that Leader Clifford Chachwa is having now. And he's doing such a good job. And as external assemblies, we said we were going to support him because he is our nominee. We are the ones, we didn't nominate him per se, but we urged President Chamisa. We put it in writing. We spoke to him in the meetings that we had previously with him. And he is a listening president. He responded by availing the Diaspora Secretariat that deals with all issues that citizens in the diaspora, that party members in the diaspora, that are Zimbabweans in general that are in the diaspora can go through. It's a diaspora desk which can be approached by anyone. It doesn't have to be an MDC Alliance member. It's any Zimbabwean who is in the diaspora. And I know that Leader Clifford has been working with everyone, and he has approached everyone in the Zimbabwean diaspora so that they can work with him. Those who have decided to work with him are working with him as we are speaking, and I know that engagements are ongoing even with the citizens that are doing another fundraiser, which we appreciate so much. He has gone to them, he has extended a hand to them that let's work together, because this is part of his mandate to work with everyone in the diaspora. But having said that, I just want to say that what the Secretariat is doing is really good. We needed a fundraiser. We needed something that will get Mkomana in. And if there is a fundraiser, if there is something that we are doing as Zimbabweans that is going to get President Nelson Chamisa in office, it is this fundraiser, because it addresses the tools, the issues that we need to ensure that we get the vote. It's here in America, they call getting the vote out. In order for us to get the vote out, we need to have necessary tools. We need to have fuel. We need petrol. We need diesel for people to be moving around, in the rural areas or in the cities, so that they, mobilize voters, they mobilize Zimbabweans to go and register to vote. You can't do that without fuel. You can't do that without vehicles. You can't do that without the things that you need, like the PA system. Some people might not understand why a PA system, but it's crucial. It's critical, especially in this time of COVID-19, where people may not be allowed to gather around. And we have those rallies where we have 30,000 people listening in. It's not going to happen this time around. We know Emerson Mnangagwa is going to put screws to that. So we might need to do car shows, road shows. We have done them before, where you're just moving around, speaking to people, using a PA system mounted in a car or in a truck, and they are talking to people. You just pass by and you talk about them, you talk about voter registration, and then you move on. And I know the election department, which presented yesterday, was also talking about new strategies, new technologies, like what happened here in the USA. Biden campaigned using what are called car rallies, where people just come in their cars and people are seated in their cars. They don't have to go outside. So in that way, the regime can't even say you are breaking COVID-19 regulations, because you'll be in your cars and you'll be listening in your cars, especially in western suburbs, like Punana Maubra, Mount Pleasant and other places. And you can just go there, mount your PA system, and they are talking vanhu vakagara muzimota dzavo vachiteerera. Kana vanzwa president vataura chinhu chinonakidza, voridza mabhera emota. After that they disperse, they go. So all those are strategies that can be employed, and where a PA system or PA systems can be employed very successfully. So I just want to urge Zimbabweans to do something, to step up, contribute something, jump onto that link right now that you're seeing there, put something, put a $10, put $20, sacrifice your lunch for freedom in Zimbabwe. And let's make sure that we get as many PA systems as we can. I know there are other people that are already offering right now to buy a PA system on their own. If we have such Zimbabweans here and you just want to donate a PA system to your province or to your constituents or something like that, please, approach the diaspora department. They are there. Zico is there, and Leader Swatchfire is there. He's a very open person. Donate something, volunteer to do something. Ndokuti Mkomana apinde. Tikasaita something as Zimbabwean. Mkomana apinde. Mkomana can only get in when all of us as Zimbabweans have done something towards making sure that we get in. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I ask Barbara to step in with the CIC, the Z election, there's Denny Mastemba. I see has a lot of comments that were directed to our North American province, Chief Sose, Dr. Ranga. But anyway, I'll just put the comments and then maybe we'll talk about it later. He says, can we stop enablers in the USA in Zimbabwe? They arrest anyone who helps MDC. In Zimbabwe, they arrest anyone who helps the MDC. Why not expose those abroad enabling ZANU-PF, like the silly prophet? I think one of the comments he was actually talking about, why not have advocate for these governments to put a travel ban on him as well. Anyway, we'll come to that later. But for now, Barbara, can I ask you to take us through the elections that were supposed to happen in Bulawayo?
Okay. Thank you so much, Sophie. The elections that we are talking about, viewers and listeners, is the elections of the Crisis in Zimbabwe Coalition. I think we all know this organization called Crisis in Zimbabwe Coalition. It is a pro-democracy non-governmental organization. So I think it's best, Sophie, you play that video before I speak so that people see what happened. It's very short, but people will see what exactly happened, and then I'll talk about it in detail.
Admin, I'm not sure if the video is on standby, ready to play, but it's the election fiasco, the violence, and the brouhaha that happened. Yeah, there we go.
Where's the exit? There's nothing.
It's okay. Let's have the audio like that as it is. We can see a picture there. Can we try one more time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but maybe you can walk us through, just take us through what you were saying while the admin in the background is trying to get the video.
Okay, it's funny on the StreamYard I can't see anything, but on my other gadget I can see the video is playing, but there's no audio. I don't know whether it's my phone. Okay, that was in Bulawayo when the Crisis Coalition in Zimbabwe was having its general meeting, and there were supposed to be elections to elect a new committee. I think their term of office is 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. So this noise that you've just witnessed, it emanated from Peter Gift Mtasa, the former president of ZCTU, who was contesting as the chairperson of the Crisis Squad. In fact, he was nominated. People wanted him to be the chairperson of that NGO. And Crisis Coalition, like I said, it's a pro-democracy organization, but at one time it was infiltrated by ZANU-PF. Remember, ZANU-PF is trying by all means to infiltrate every organization that intends or that fights for change, or that intends to bring about change in Zimbabwe. So they are infiltrating everywhere. They are infiltrating ZINASU, MDC Alliance. We saw what happened with the Monzoras, the Kupes. They are infiltrating the Zimbabwe Congress of Trade Unions. We saw what happened with their Congress. They are infiltrating the Nango Forum, NGO Forum. They've infiltrated. So maybe those that follow Jamanda on Twitter, you know, he started talking about Peter's arrest. Well, before, after the Congress of ZCTU, we saw him congratulating the new team that got in. That never happened. That has never happened in ZCTU leadership, being congratulated by Jamanda and Nick Mangwana. So you see, it doesn't need a rocket scientist, Sophie, to conclude what type of leadership got in at ZCTU. So they thought Kuti Mtasa, when he didn't get into the ZCTU leadership, they thought he was finished. And they thought the mission was accomplished, not knowing Kuti Kabadashka Kuriambutsa. So if the struggle is in your blood, you always fight from any angle. So they tried to stop Mtasa. That's why they saw there was violence. They wanted to arrest him on that day before the election so that he would not contest. And they had already moved a motion to say if someone cannot be voted in absentia, because they already knew they were going to arrest him. So he ran away and took refuge. So this is what exactly happened. It was all about Peter Mtasa. And the reason why they are doing this to Peter Mtasa is they are saying Kuti Anzi Mfana wa Chamisa. So you see everything, it goes back to MDC Alliance to see Kuti it's an organization. MDC Alliance is the only party that is genuine. Is the only party that is fighting for the poor. Is fighting for the real change. All other organizations, all other parties that are there, you know, they are just there because they want to enrich themselves, to fatten their pockets. I was laughing today. There's a new party that has been launched again in Bulawayo. And I was just saying, with these people, you think they've got people at heart. They just want to join Poland, and they've had the hearsay of a GNU, so they want to take advantage or to capitalize on that. They are not genuine, because I've never seen a party that is formed from the top. I know the party is formed from the bottom. That's the reason why they're failing to destroy MDC, because MDC was formed by the people. It was formed by the workers. It was formed from the grassroots. And this crisis in Zimbabwe coalition, it was formed by ZCTU, by the way. When MDC was formed in 1999, there was an agreement to say ZCTU will fight the government, but on labor issues. And then MDC will fight the government, but on political issues. And then Crisis Coalition would also fight on human rights issues. And the Zim Rights also was formed under ZCTU. It will fight on bringing or fighting for human rights. And NCA, the one that was turned by Maduku into a political party, the National Constitutional Assembly, it was also formed under ZCTU as a organization that will fight for a new constitution. You see, so there was also the students. Zinasu was also to fight from the students' side. If you look at the history again, all those organizations, the first leaders of those organizations were the leaders of ZCTU. One time, Crisis Coalition, the first chairperson, if I'm not mistaken, was Tabita Kumar. And also, Changirai was also one time the leader of, I think, is the Zim Rights. So these they were wind, and did my organizations like people. Then people started, they should be run independently, and that's when things started. So ZANU-PF saw these were the arms, the bodies that made MDC powerful. So that's the reason why you're seeing they've got this interest in all this. And also before the Crisis Coalition elections, Jamanda tweeted to say, why is Crisis taking Peter? He failed to lead ZCTU, and why are they taking? Why is he interested in the NGOs? As if he loves them. So you can see it's all about the power that these organizations have they know these are the organizations that also makes MDC stronger.
Yeah, they know that this is where their threat is, so they try to cut it off by all means. But yeah, we stay focused.
So
Moving on.
the elections were postponed. They were never held, Sophie. I think there will be another date will be announced because there was violence.
Yeah.
So they couldn't continue.
Continue. I think our admin has that video ready now in the background. Is it ready? I know it's a short clip. Is it ready? While it's being prepared, I can just introduce our final topic for Chief and Dr. Ranga. The premiere of The President, the documentary about our president, the people's president, Advocate Nelson Chamisa, premiered in the United States. Let's talk about that after this video.
Where's the exit? Where's the exit?
Those were ZANU-PF hooligans who went into that hotel and started beating people. That's ZANU-PF for you, and no one was arrested, by the way.
Yeah, this is a very sad state of affairs. I mean, if they can brazenly walk in there in broad daylight and attack other citizens who are having a lawful meeting and beat them up and disrupt a meeting because it's perceived to be an opposition group, then we really are in trouble as Zimbabweans, and we really need to do something about it, and we need to make our country better. So yeah, that goes on to the documentary, what it exposed as well, that Camilla Nielsen produced on the president, that premiered and showed in the United States this week. Chief, I don't know if you're there, maybe you could start us off and then we go on to Dr. Ranga on what happened. Chief, are you still with us? Okay, while we are trying to get Chief back, I'll just go into a little bit of a detail and then maybe Dr. Ranga, if you could catch me as well, and we go on like that.
Sure.
So this documentary was focusing on the president, Nelson Chamisa, and it was sort of hello? Hello?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. It was going on to the lead up to the 2018 elections. And Camilla Nielsen she's actually a producer. She was working with constitutional issues that she was documenting on Zimbabwe and other countries. Interviews from members as well of the MDC Alliance and the president, Nelson Chamisa, and managed to put this together into a documentary which won several awards at the Sundance Film Festival. That just shows you the quality of the work that was produced. And so it was showing, it premiered in the United States. I think it showed in New York and Los Angeles. And it's going to move on to the EU and UK and also South Africa. And hopefully, we don't know, we just hope that maybe the population in Zimbabwe might be able to see that, to watch it and understand the dynamics of what happened in the run-up to the 2018 and after the 2018 election results were announced. So, I mean, I'm just going to throw it out to the remaining panelists, what you know about 2018 and the little that you know about the documentary, The President.
Thank you, Sophie. I am yet to watch The President. I have watched and read a lot of reviews about it. For a lot of us Zimbabweans, especially those in the diaspora, we have seen snippets of what happened in the 2018 election, the August 18 shootings. But this documentary, from what I'm hearing, at least Chief watched it, so I got to hear a little bit from him. It's really touching. There's a lot that we don't know that we're going to learn through the documentary. I'm glad that Camilla Nilsson came up with this documentary. And I hope that every Zimbabwean will get a chance to watch it, whether here in America. I understand that they're gonna show it, making arrangements to have it shown in Dallas, in Atlanta, and maybe in Ontario, Canada, and of course the United Kingdom. But I think the overarching message is that something is wrong with our country, Zimbabwe. It's not working the way it's supposed to work. Those who are in power right now would want things to continue because they are benefiting from the system. However, the people who are the ultimate deciders of what happens in a country, they have been in this ongoing fight to have true freedom in Zimbabwe. As we know, August 2018, there were shootings around the announcement of the election results. And it seems that at every moment when the citizens speak up, those in charge of running the country, what I call the ED and ZANU-PF governing elite, they will make sure that those voices are silenced. The last time our president right now, ED, when he was getting in, what we call bait and switch, he said the voice of the people is the voice of God. It seems that every time the voice of God or the voice of the people is heard, he wants to silence it. So I think the documentary, The President, is a good opportunity to have a better sense of actually what was happening on the ground during that time period. And I hope that every Zimbabwean, particularly us in the diaspora who want a better country that works for every Zimbabwean, will go and watch it. We know there are so many issues every single day that affect us Zimbabweans in the diaspora, including the passport. You know, it's my favorite topic today. But really, it affects everybody. When we understand what is happening on the ground, then we will be encouraged to act, to do something about it. And what I can tell you is that Zimbabweans are ready to do something about it. As we know with the Diaspora Network and so forth, we are ready, but we need the right information. And let's watch the documentary, President, when we get a chance. Thank you, Sophie.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ranga. Definitely, I encourage everyone, if you get a chance, please go and watch this movie, this documentary, highly enlightening, and I'm told gripping and entertaining, and also quite touching. I heard grown men were crying after watching this because, it sort of touches you of where we are as Zimbabweans and where we have come from and everything that has gone wrong with Zimbabwe and how we can fix it. And one way we can fix it is by registering to go and vote. So let's all register to go and vote. I know there's a toll-free number. Our admin maybe can flight it on the bottom there. The number to phone if you need to get any information for free, it's a toll-free number, 0808-0219. So let us all go and register to vote. Let us all vote in our millions, and let us all defend our votes. And let us make sure that 2023 comes and we have a new government in Zimbabwe and everyone's lives is brought back, the dignity is brought back into all the lives of all Zimbabweans, not just a few elite. So let us register to vote. Let us vote. Let us defend the vote. Viewers and listeners, thank you so very much. This was all we have. I'll just read Mandla's comment just before we sign out. And Mandla Mazibuko says, evening, as long as we still have Chiwenga on top there, then we are finished. He is the one running Zimbabwe. Mnangagwa is taking everything from him. Please help us, especially us outside the country, so that we can vote. Also, please, if this is a democracy, every Zimbabwean child who is carrying a Zimbabwean ID must vote. If we can, I'm telling you, Chamisa will be the next Zimbabwe president. Thank you so much for those wise words, Mandla, and very encouraging. So let us register to vote. Let us vote. Let us defend our vote. It has been a pleasure hanging out with you all over the world here on Change Radio and ZimI. Thank you so much for spending time with us, and meet us again, same time next week, same place. It's us signing out, Dr. Ranga, Barbara, Chief Shoshe, Tarisai, and Jiko as well. Thank you for spending time with us, and have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night. Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night.
Shandoko yasimuka yakatangira kumalawi takaiona paZambia ndaona yawambuka Zambezi mbepo ya Shandoko yasimuka yakatangira kumalawi achapinda makatemba chua makatemba achapinda makatemba this time pakaipa mani asima funnies asiri 1940 ka 19 gocha nembe okuti ZBC ndo yakaishandisa kunyebera makajaira kuba mari pasina anobvunza wobuchi munhu anokupedzerai makajaira kutora mutemo pamunongodira manje makaisa anokupedzerai nazi zandikarekwa maiudza vanhu nyaya dzemanyepo timupa chedu inokupedzerai mucharirega dzungu pamunoenda kuchando simba chikanza nokupedzerai nero makatemba shuwa makatemba neruka makatemba achapinda makatemba